What is Scout and why should you care? If you're here, you may already know, and that may give you a hint right there. But if you don't know, I'm here to tell you a little bit about this brand of yore and why you should care about it now.
Are you staying?
Hey guys, I'm Phaedra with All Things Phaedra, and as you may have guessed, I'm here with Scout. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee on a rather warm October day as they are getting ready to reveal the brand new Scout. Now, before I show you the Scout, and if you're a Scout fan or car enthusiast, you've probably seen it all over the internet by now. As of right now, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't tell you about it. But what I can tell you is a little bit about the history of the Scout and what that means for what's coming up today. So what you see behind me, and I'll show you some others, is called an International Scout. And this vehicle was made from 1960 to 1980. So it only had a 20-year run. A little over 500,000 of these vehicles were ever made. And so the people, and apparently they were quite prone to rusting. So apparently if you have one, you're definitely going to be an enthusiast because you're probably going to have to restore it and re-energize it. And the people that have these love them, and that is because the Scout name is not just a vehicle, it's part of a lifestyle. And that's what Scout of today wanted to show us. So they brought us to this beautiful resort in Franklin, Tennessee called South Hall, which is a combination inn and working farm. There's hiking, there's beekeeping. We did some woodworking. I did some woodworking anyway. There was zip lining, there's kayaking. There are all sorts of things here as well as orchards. And so this property right here kind of embodies that outdoorsy lifestyle, and everything that we've pretty much done today has been outdoors. It's actually really warm for like October. But the cool thing is that we've been able to see some of the classic Scouts from over the years and meet some of the enthusiastic Scout owners. How long have you owned your Scout?
I've had my oldest one for 20 years.
They've been in my family all my life.
Oh, really?
I've been in business for 40 years.
Okay.
Doing Scouts and parts and selling them and restoring them and saved the trademark.
What do I think about? I think that, what's it been 45
years.
45
Yeah.
years. I mean, I think it's great that it's coming back. For me personally, how about that? For me personally, I don't need or would use an EV because I don't have that 10-mile commute every day. I'm kind of all over the place. So for me right now, an EV wouldn't make sense. But I believe in the brand, and I think it's going to be awesome.
It could morph into something that is beyond EV.
Yeah.
This is a forever thing. I mean, today it's EV, but tomorrow it could be hybrid, it could be hydrogen, it could be whatever they want to do, whatever they need to do to survive.
The marketing slogan for this vehicle back in the day was International Scout, anything less is just a car. And as you take a look at them, they're kind of a rarity where I live. So on the East Coast, I don't see a lot of Scouts. In fact, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a Scout in the wild. I will tell you that I met Jesse today, who is a Scout owner and who lives only about a half hour from me. But we've got all kinds of Scouts here today. We have the very first Scout that rolled off the line. We have the very last Scout that rolled off the line when they discontinued production in October of 1980. And as you can see, it's sort of the precursor to the modern day SUV. So let me bring you up to modern day. In modern times, we no longer have the International Scout. We have the Scout, and that name was purchased by Volkswagen with the intent to produce a new generation of Scout. Here's the question. Is this the Scout that we want? Is this the Scout that we need? So the initial offering, and maybe the only offering, is going to be all electric. And as you might guess, some of these traditionalists, maybe not here in particular, but some of these traditionalists are like, what? I don't want to plug my car in. I want a bare bones, no luxury, take it off the road, go anywhere, fix it up, never die kind of vehicle. So now it's time to pause and take a look at what the new Scout looks like.
You know, of course, you see behind me, the world needs more Scouts. and we couldn't agree more. And from what we see, Americans want to simplify. They want to trade in a lot of the virtual experiences for real, tangible experiences. Digital detox. How do we navigate this American market at this profound American moment? And for me, the answer is clear. It's Scout.
And as we look at the vehicle and the form language, we move around to the side. We wanted to make sure that we captured that proportion and that it stood out in the crowd. If you look along the body side of the Traveler, you can see all of the focus is shifted rearward. There's only one single line at the bottom, and that really cements the weight and it really pulls the vehicle forward. That form language, the softness in the shoulders, all of that resolves in the rear. In the rear of the vehicle, we have another mast. It's another proud moment where we have the spare tire carrier as well. And you can see from the execution of the spare tire carrier, it's beautifully integrated into that mast shape so that the graphic is undisturbed. If you move from the Traveler over to the Terra, what you'll see on the back of the pickup truck is that we created a similar statement, but a little bolder. The ghost lighting that we have on the rear is really direct as opposed to on the Traveler where it's indirect. And so it has a bold stance, a presence to it, like a truck should have. And as we rotate around to the side of the pickup truck, you'll notice also there's some really cool things that we did. The form language, of course, is the same. It's got that soft, broad shoulder, but another little nod to the Scout 80. This little flick here on the back of the pickup truck bed that most people that don't know the Scout 80 wouldn't know where that came from, but we love it. And we wanted to make sure that all of that essence from the historical vehicles was captured in a meaningful way. And as you resolve back to the front end, you can see the difference between the two. Although they are the same through the mast and the central area, the truck has a very tougher hood. The form language is slightly different, and even the bumper treatment is slightly different to create those unique personalities between the two vehicles. And we wanted to make sure that we treated the truck like a true truck. So you see the separation in the bed, body on frame, tough, badass, and ready for action.
If you look at the foundation, if you will, of this vehicle, the foundation, obviously, body on frame construction, high performance galvanized steel frame. Terra towing, 10,000 pounds. Traveler, 7,000 pounds. Payload, 2,000 pounds. Projected torque, 1,000 pound-feet. 0 to 60 as quick as 3.5 seconds. Solid rear axle on this vehicle. Front and rear mechanical differentials on this thing. So again, a proper Scout. All Scouts will be standard with NACS, North American Charging Standard, bi-directional charging on all vehicles, 800-volt vehicle architecture, projected 350 miles EV range. Projected range over 500 miles. Make the battery a little bit smaller, fill that space with a gas tank, and get the range that you see there. It's still an EV. It's got the packaging of an EV. You still have the frunk, you still have all the packaging. The battery will drive both of the axles. Of course, the engine will power the battery. So this gives you a proper EV experience with, of course, the generator. We can ebb and flow and move from range extender to EV, EV to range extender, or, of course, Terra to Traveler. These absolute dream machines, under $60,000, with state incentives, $50,000 for this absolute magical dream machine on this front.
Now that we've had the big reveal, we're going to see if we can fight our way through the crowd and get up close and personal.
Oh, that's good. Right. Did we get it right? Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Aesthetically, I like it. Let's go. Watch. Making sure no one jumps in. What do you think? I'm the bodyguard. I love him too. That's okay. That's more of an admin question to me, but yeah, we were like the story one earlier. We did some stuff with the old scouts, like with like a deal with people countdown.
Oh,
sometime. Yes. Quick shots. I'm
Not sure if this opens or not.
holding a shadow for you on the door. I think at this point, shadows are kind of unavoidable. But I appreciate your effort. Yeah, right away.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh, and not only do I talk too much, I also touch
There's a bag too. Oh, really?
this is probably the worst possible lighting, but I wanted to wrap things up with my final thoughts. First of all, what did you think of the new Scout? So my first impressions were like, this looks sort of like a Ford Bronco. I don't know how I feel about it. It looks like it's like they're trying too hard. But then when I got up and looked at the details, I actually really loved it. Like, I could see myself driving one of these. On the other hand, the price is still up there for an EV, which I don't love. But you have to look at the tax incentives and look at the fuel savings over time. They do give you a lot of options for range. And however, this is not going to be out for, I think, at least 2 years. I think 2026 was when they were estimating that it will be released. But I would love to hear what you think of this lighting. This is actually the closing party. This is what happens after a big reveal. I would love to hear your thoughts on the design, the pricing, and if they really captured that Scout spirit. Thanks for joining me, and